Hello, I'm Andy Coulson and welcome back to Crisis What Crisis and another Crisis Comforts episode. Short but perfectly formed advice for getting you through the difficult times. As regular listeners will know, at the end of our conversations, we ask all our guests for their 3 crisis comforts, their go-tos for inspiration and strength during the challenging times. And over the years, we've accumulated some incredibly interesting, much more importantly, useful tips for anyone who might be feeling the weight of their own problems. Last year, I had a conversation with the passionate environmentalist and financier Ben Goldsmith. Ben had just published his beautifully moving book, God is an Octopus, in tribute to his 15-year-old daughter, Iris, who very tragically died suddenly in 2019 following an accident on the family farm in Somerset. Ben's approach to his grief led him towards a deep exploration of the complexities of nature, the mysteries of faith, resulting in a truly extraordinary soul search, taking him across the globe in search of answers. For Ben, the need to know everything, to leave no stone unturned, ultimately brought him to a place of reconciliation with himself and an understanding that the connection to his beloved daughter was to be found in the very beauty of nature around him. It was a deeply moving conversation, and I would urge you to seek out the full episode from our archives. But if you're short on time, you can listen here to Ben's 3 very practical crisis comforts in this short bonus episode. Many thanks for listening. I'd like to finish, though, by asking for your crisis comforts. 3 things, can't be another person, that help you through, have helped you through. 3 specific kind of comforts. What would they be?
So when we saw each other first this morning, you said, "Oh, you're a cold water swimmer." Well, my little secret is I don't really like swimming in cold water in the winter. But that pond of mine in Somerset, from about April through till October, really is a source of refuge. And it's not just that pond. Anywhere I go, I love to swim in wild water, in the sea, swimming in the sea, and we all love it. But swimming in rivers, ponds, I find that somehow cleanses me of kind of emotional overload. You know, if I'm feeling particularly anxious or upset, if I dive into the sea, dive into the pond, and swim, just splash about in the water, I come out feeling better every time. It really works. So that for me would be high up the list. And if I were braver, I'd do it throughout the year. I just can't face jumping into a pond that feels like a slush puppy in January. But I have friends and family members who derive even greater comfort when the water's colder.
Yes.
And I won't diminish their recommendation. The second would be just walking in nature. You know, I think we need this every day. If I don't spend a little bit of time in nature, even if it's literally to eat a sandwich on a park bench in a square in central London, if I don't see the birds and feel the sun on my face and look up at the trees just for a few moments each day, I start to feel short of something. I start to feel anxious. And if I'm really feeling low, you know, I will switch off my phone. If I'm able to, I'll grab the dog, or even better, persuade my wife to join me, and I'll walk on Hampstead Heath or walk through Regent's Park, or if we're in Somerset, which more often than not we are, just go walking in nature. Yes. And using all 5 senses to kind of observe nature, to kind of, it's a sort of meditation. I'm very bad at meditation. I'm just not very good at it yet. But walking and noticing the smells and the sounds and identifying stuff like that's a blue tit and I can hear a chiff-chaff singing, it clears your mind and makes you feel better. I think the third is playing with children. I mean, I think, you know, I've got a little boy called Vinny. He sounds like a Hatton Garden watch dealer, Vinny Goldsmith, or a villain. And he's 6 months, and just rolling around on the floor with children and playing games, and you know, just losing yourself in play with children, your own or someone else's, I think is enormously cathartic. Yes. You know, I think they kind of somehow surf the sort of quantum froth when they play, and they're sort of of this world and not of this world, and I think that's why they play, and I think we can participate in that and benefit from that, and of course they benefit from it. Most importantly, putting my phone away, not being distracted by I think messages and obligations. I think when you're not feeling up to it can really knock you down. Yes, you have to be in the right frame of mind to deal with obligations that come relentlessly into your phone. Very good. Ben, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
If you've enjoyed this conversation with Ben, then please do leave us a review. And if you found it helpful or even inspiring, we would be delighted if you'd recommend us to your friends. You can watch the full episodes on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and if you hit subscribe, you'll find a lot more useful crisis conversations.